Bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, c'est mardi le 26 octobre. Le mot de passe, j'ai peur. J'ai peur. Aujourd'hui dans l'histoire. Aujourd'hui, c'est mardi le 26 octobre et c'est l'anniversaire de François Mitterrand. François Mitterrand, il était président de la France. He was président de la France de 1981 à 1995. Le plus longtemps, the longest time, dans l'histoire de France. Donc, 14 ans. 14 ans. He was president for 14 years. During this time in history, in the 80s into the 90s, the presidential term was 7 years, and he was elected to 2 different terms. After that, in the late 90s, I can't remember when exactly, they decided to change the presidential term to 5 years. So that means that after Mitterrand, the next president, who was Jacques Chirac, his first term was 7 years, and then his second term was only 5 years. So while Mitterrand got to be president for 14 ans, Jacques Chirac, his successor, was only president for 12 ans, even though they both served 2 terms. Il était socialiste, et il a aboli la peine de mort en France. Il a aboli, abolished, got rid of. Mort, we see sometimes in these Aujourd'hui dans l'histoire, quelqu'un est mort. They died on a certain day or in a certain year. La peine de mort, c'est death penalty. Donc, il a aboli la peine de mort. He abolished the death penalty. Il était socialiste. I know socialism is sometimes thought of as a dirty word here in the U.S. There is a very active socialist party in France. That doesn't mean it's a socialist country per se, but it does mean that some of its public systems and public assistance are based on socialism, based on people's need and the higher tax rates that we here in the U.S. tend to not like. But that's a very simplified version. What you need to know about François Mitterrand is that he was, in fact, socialiste, and that he was he held the longest, let's try this again. He had the longest presidency in France's history. Okay, bon. Ensuite, la chanson de la semaine, c'est l'Halloween, c'est l'Halloween. So if you listen to C'est l'Halloween, if you go to slide set, you can also have the opportunity for some extra credit. So this GIM kit, if you go to it, actually, let me show you what it looks like from, oops. So you go to GimKit and you can earn $10,000 to complete the assignment. The assignment is just with various vocabulary words that come from the song C'est l'Halloween. A lot of them are cognates. Some of them you might have to think a little bit harder about. If you watch the song and kind of pay attention to the images on the screen, that can be helpful too, because there are some very obvious like image to word correlation in that video. You will only get 5 points if you get to 10,000. So I'm not going to do any kind of partial credit for this. It's either you get it or you don't. And it has to be by the end of the week. Et les gestes, make sure you're going through TPR, slide numéro 6. I did go ahead and update your weekly checklist here. We are going to be doing une histoire sur un monstre. So what's going to happen is I will be giving instructions for drawing a monster. That'll happen tomorrow during our live class. And then you're going to do your best to follow the instructions. And then we'll kind of make up a few just points about the monster, what they like to do, if they have an animal, whatever. And we will look at that together, and then you'll take a quiz on the monster based on the drawing. So that will be over the course of mercredi et jeudi, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the rest of your, actually this should be pink. The rest of your week, you'll have the Quick Write Weekly Check-in and Muzzy. Okay, au revoir tout le monde.